Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny Berba. Although I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I thought I have to make this video because if I don't do videos sometimes immediately when I get the idea, I end up forgetting and not doing it. I've been teaching today all day in London. It's pretty much been the same for the entire week, the entire last few weeks, which I've loved. I've been really busy with work. Business has been going fantastic. And it's a good tiredness. It's very different being tired from doing what you absolutely love and you get so much satisfaction out of doing, as opposed to being tired because you're not happy in your job and so forth. I just wanted to add that, probably speaking to myself, reminding myself how grateful I am to be doing this job. One of the things that's become very apparent for me, well, I've known this for a very long time, and of course I first realised this, I experienced it from myself, and now from having spent so much time teaching different men, different men from different backgrounds, different ages, different walks of life, the real sticking point in the dating world, you could include with the pickup community because it's linked, the real sticking point that men have with regards to attracting women, and I'm talking about the real sticking point that I don't think many teachers speak about. I'm not saying that in a braggadocious way to say, oh, I know everything, but I know exactly what I'm talking about in the area of fear, social fear, and finding it difficult to relate to women. Now I'm getting my words jumbled up, this happens when I get passionate. The main sticking point with men is social awkwardness, not being comfortable in oneself. That became very apparent for me years ago when I was shy, because I always felt I'm not shy, I'm confident, I know what I want to say, I know what I want to do, but something was not letting me do it. And that something was fear. Of course, that fear was attached to many perceptions or ideas about myself or negative experiences that I had experienced, other people's fears and perceptions that were passed on to me, social conditioning, all those complexities around fear and what fear does to us and how it stops us from expressing ourselves and being our best self. That doesn't just tie in with speaking to a woman on the street. That's just one level. I'm talking about the job you do, the clothes you wear, the way you articulate, the way you speak, the way you move, your body language, the way you interpretate other people, the whole area of communication, pretty much every area in life. I was about to say the video games you play, I don't know why I said that. Maybe it's a Freudian slip, we'll say that. The TV programs you watch, the food that you eat, the places you drink, the decisions you make, this is all centered around how comfortable you are in yourself. So I knew it to be true for me. I knew that it wasn't really conversation skills that was a sticking point for me, although I did struggle with what to say because I wasn't socially comfortable. It was, of course, social anxiety. It was that feeling that I couldn't relax around people. I couldn't even relax in my own company, regardless of people. So I had a fear of people. It sounds mental to say that because I am people, we're all connected, but I was afraid of my fellow species or my fellow man. I was afraid of women and men. So I find everyone I work with, period, and they're all my friends, and it's not even any form of criticism because I had the same problem. I think it's exciting to share it with you, is afraid of people to some extent. You might think that's mental, you might think, what the hell is Johnny going with this? But I know what I'm talking about. I've been teaching for 4 years and I've struggled I've had all these psychological fears that become real and apparent in the world that we socialise in. It was all created from years ago when I told you a few words were said to me by someone close to me. I had several experiences that created a trauma in me. I was frightened of people. I was afraid to socialise. I was afraid of being myself. I was afraid of being socially judged. I was afraid of being socially challenged. My interpretation of someone challenging me was just raising their voice to me, just staring at me in a serious way, or laughing at me. Anything of that could invoke, or for me, where I could perceive discomfort from someone, frightened the shit out of me because I had a bad temper due to insecurity, again, from not feeling safe in my body, not feeling safe in the world, and not feeling safe around people. So it felt like I always had to be a babysitter for myself, if that makes sense. And the person that babysitted me was a false self. It wasn't my true self. My true self was buried deep beneath all the fears and insecurities. And of course, that's going to affect me speaking to women. But what I've been finding now, the work I do with all the guys I've worked with on the 6 weeks programs, yes, we do this thing that you guys call, or we have called, it's an agreement amongst men, day game. But I go deeper with people. I help people to identify their authentic self. I help people to get socially relaxed. I help people to express their true feelings and thoughts. And we build a relationship together. So I get people comfortable with me ultimately, and then we transfer that level of social comfortableness. I think that makes sense. I hope so. You guys know I'm half Irish. I get words wrong, but you know my point. And we transfer that level of comfortableness onto other people. So when I work with people, they say to me, fucking hell, Johnny, I'll be honest with you, the first session meeting you was difficult. I was nervous coming down. I was nervous to meet you. It wasn't personal, but I just felt, because I was nervous at the concept of meeting you, because I see you on YouTube and you seem like a guru, and meeting you in person is kind of shocking, because I've been watching your videos for a long time. I understand that. I felt the same, when I go meet my mentor, when I first met him, or when I meet people that I look up to, whatever. And then they're frightened of the concept of the work that we're going to do. So it's not that people are frightened of me, they're frightened of what I represent, which is their life, all their fears, their dreams, their aspirations. Wow, I can't believe the responsibility I got, but I embrace it. So it represents that and obviously after the first session, people get a lot more relaxed. Of course, spending time with someone, seeing I'm as normal as they come. They don't come any more normal than me. I'm crazy as well. Joking. So my point is, as the sessions go on, people get more socially comfortable with me. They get to express their real thoughts of me. So that practice that they have on me, they can transfer that onto other people. People say to me, the students will say, well, Johnny, I feel more comfortable with you than my friend for 10 years or my family. And I'm not saying that in a way to be arrogant. I really ain't. Please believe me, forgive me. I'm saying that because I went through this. So I think I understand this social fear, this insecurity on a very deep level, because I had it. And of course, once I got better with this, I got better with women. Doing day game was really just a way to avoid really looking at my pain, which was, and I could admit at the time, I wasn't socially comfortable. I wasn't comfortable with anyone. I'll just tell you straight now. Yes, to some levels, I was comfortable with my mum. I wasn't comfortable with myself. So if you're not comfortable with yourself, you've got social anxiety. I don't care what anyone says. Now, there's levels of degrees that people have it. I work with some clients that, yes, they're very socially confident. They public speak. They do business or whatever. They're doctors, lawyers. They're in these high-powered positions, right? But once they come out of their role, they don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. They don't know how to behave. They don't know how to speak to a woman, because they don't. Do I be a doctor when I talk to a woman? Do I be professional? Do I be a lawyer? Do I be a banker? Do I be a CEO of a tech company? It's almost like, who am I? So I help people to identify and get them down to the one self, and how to, what I call social calibration. So of course, there's a time and a place to be sexual. There's a time and a place to be vulnerable. But we can identify the one self, the one authentic self, the one voice, and then we can adapt our social skills within that one voice. So for example, people will often say to me, yeah, Johnny, you're exactly the same as you are on camera. Meeting you in person, you're no different, and I ain't any different. But of course I adapt. Of course, for example, I don't know, if I'm trying to think for a second. If I get on the train, or I don't know, if I'm in a situation that, if I'm around people that are not interested in spirituality, and they're not interested in day game or pickup or personal development, and they've got nothing to do with it, I'm probably not going to speak about pickup or women or shagging women or getting spiritually aligned, but not because I'm ashamed of it, because I'm using my social intelligence. Unless they ask me what I do, then I'll bring it up. But I'm going to still be my authentic self, but with social skills. I think sometimes people misinterpret my teaching. They're like, well, you can't just be yourself, because people associate being yourself as something to be ashamed of. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. I am the same person with everyone. I just adapt my one self to the person I'm with, but within the balance of not being a people pleaser. So my point is, the guys that come to me, and not just all the guys in the pickup community, or the guys that struggle with women, struggle with people. You cannot tell me that you struggle to articulate what you really want to say of a woman, but then when you're with other people, you're really authentic. It doesn't make sense, believe me. And it took me a long time to admit this to myself, because I still, to some extent, was struggling with the inner war 3-4 years ago at the height of getting laid with many attractive women from the street and doing public talk and teaching. But when I'd come away from teaching, public speaking and shagging women, sorry to use that word, I'm just being honest in a language I understand and communicate to the guys, I started to didn't know who I was. So I'd like, well, do I stay confident when I'm with my family? If I meet someone from my past, do I still be this same person? There was a lot of internal wars going on because I was afraid. I was so proud and impressed of the changes I made, but part of my psychology was shocked that I'd gone from this insecure, shy introvert, or at least I was pretending to be. That Alan Watts would say I was acting the introvert. That was the role I was playing. As Shakespeare said, the world is a play. But now I'm playing me. The role is I'm playing myself. So I am the one self of everyone. Not to say that's easy all the time, because of course sometimes we meet someone and it can knock us a little bit out of our authentic self because they've got a different type of personality, and we sometimes want to correct ourselves to suit someone else because I'm a caring person, or sometimes someone's got a different type of character that can bring out different sides of you. But ultimately, on a consistent basis, I know exactly who I am, and I am my one self. And the great thing is, I get to practice that one self every time I teach. When I teach, I do a meditation, I pray to God or my higher consciousness, and I say, please keep me down to my one self so I can help this person in the best way I can. And that always helps me. So I get massive growth. So I'm doing a session today with my friend Nick. I won't say his surname because I've worked with many Nicks, but he'll know who he is. And we were on the last session of the 6-week program, and one of the things that it became very apparent to me from teaching him and learning back from him, that the sticking point is being uncomfortable. And he's made an amazing transformation in his life. The difference from when I first met him to how much he's grown now in stature, in energy, and the honesty that's coming out. And I was saying to him that this is what the whole journey for me was about, and seeing him going through that transition or transformation is so inspiring, because I get to go back in time in a way and see myself through Nick. I see it through all the students, and they get to see, and this is not sounding egotistical, so please don't take it that way, and if you do, tough luck. They get to see themselves in me, and we reflect back in each other. I know that sounds mental, but that is the truth. They get to see where I've got to, where they're going to get to, because it's just reflecting in each other, and it's the same transformation that we go through, and we find our one self, and it's a painful process, it's uncomfortable, and that's exactly what Jeff helped me to do. Jeff helped me to get down to my one self and to get rid of anything that's false in my life, which is replicated in the way I live my life. So I was just having a chat with Nick, and I was saying that I know it's uncomfortable what you're going through, because right now you're going through an ego death, an identity death, but it's so fucking exciting, it's so inspiring when you're actually living out of your authentic self, and it takes so much courage. And most people in society, men and women, never really live out of their authentic voice. They live out of what they think is real, but they feel it on the inside that they're not being themselves, they're not doing the job they want. And I keep mentioning job, and it's nothing to do with the amount of money or the job you do, but it's basically a representation of how you feel about yourself, or who are you operating from. If you're living every day out of an ego identity that's not you, that's a people pleaser personality, that's protecting yourself because you don't want to get hurt by people, you're not going to be happy. I call it internal damage. Of course, I lived like that for years, and there are some pluses from it, because you do learn a lot about yourself, about acting, about communication, about what is true. You get a lot from it. So in a sense, when you make the transformation, you don't feel like you wasted your life. But when you don't make the transformation, you're not happy. Let's cut the bullshit. You're depressed. You get panic attacks. It's very difficult to trust people, because of course you don't trust yourself. That reflects in your perception, that reflects in the way you speak to people. And that's what I help the guys do on my 6 weeks program. And it can sound a little bit airy, fairy, spiritual over YouTube, but believe me, it's no fucking bullshit. And my mate Nick was saying to me, before I come on the course, Johnny, I did not expect it to be like this. I think people think it's just going to be running up and down and getting phone numbers. And there's some of that, don't get me wrong, but that's just the surface of the spiritual change, or the psychological change. I prefer that word, because I think it's a word that people can understand more. You make a psychological shift. You've got to, I think a lot of men don't realise, to get an attractive woman into bed, you've got to change your thinking. You can't stay with the mindset, I call it the ugly guy mindset. Use a few tricks, and hypnotise and attract a woman into bed. You've got to change your whole perception of yourself and your reality. So the person that drinks alcohol, the person that badmouths people, the person that's jealous, the person that is, you know, all over the place, angry, nice, he has to change that, because that is being reflected on the way that you view people. The way your whole reality is based on your perception of yourself. And that's why I just say, you know, lots of the guys can't believe my past. Can't believe that I used to be a drug dealer. Can't believe that I used to be violent. Can't believe that I was always in fights with people. Can't believe that I was really timid. I was really shy, but incredibly violent. But only violent because I was frightened of being bullied, and I underwent a lot of bullying. So I was hiding this authentic self. So my question to you is, how long are you going to keep hiding your authentic self? Because the pain of hiding your authentic self is probably more painful than starting to reveal yourself. And that's what I do on the 6 weeks program, all the guys. Lots of social exercises we do. Put them in social situations that invoke fear. And I said to Nick, we had a laugh, Nick said to me, you know, I knew it was going to be uncomfortable, Johnny, but I wanted to kind of learn this and not get uncomfortable. I said, everyone wants that. And I wanted that, but that's just not the truth. So there's lots of methods out there. Lots of teachers will say they can give you a formula that will make it easy and rosy, and it just isn't like that. And it's not like that when I do the work of my mentor. It's not like that when I taught myself. It's and then you get the rewards. You don't. I said to my friend, another guy I'm working with today, I'm working with two brothers, and they both started at the same time. And I was saying to my friend as well today, I was saying to my friend Yusuf, if you didn't feel uncomfortable in session 1, you wouldn't be feeling much more comfortable now in session 3. He's transforming. He's not. I said to him, you're not the same man that I sat and had coffee with 2 weeks ago. You're not the same man. He laughed. His voice is stronger. He's more certain when he speaks. The people pleasing isn't very apparent anymore. Not saying he was people pleasing. I'm just making a point that he's sure of what he's saying. Better conversations with women. Everything's reflected on the relationship we build with each other. And that's my style of teaching. As I said, it's very practical, speaking to women on the street, practicing congruency. It's therapeutic, it's counselling, sitting down with people one-on-one, in front of each other. The reason I sit people in front of me, I'll tell you why, because it's a lot of social pressure. I know it's difficult to sit in front of someone with eye contact. When I was shy, I unconsciously avoided sitting opposite people. I couldn't sit opposite people. I couldn't even sit opposite my mum with full eye contact. My head had to be down. So when I spoke to someone, I would speak like that. And I find lots of guys that I first worked with have got the same social phobia. And you can Google this and go online if you don't believe me. Why wouldn't you believe me? It's hard to make eye contact. And I realised myself, I couldn't make eye contact for years because I was carrying guilt and shame. I felt worthless. My self-esteem was that of a homeless man. And I say that of no way to offend homeless people. I just give an example. And now my eye contact is rock solid strong because I've got nothing to feel ashamed about. I've got nothing to hide. I'm living straight. I'm living virtuous. I do make mistakes sometimes. I'm not going to deny it. I've masturbated a few times in the last month. I'm not proud of that. I'm still learning myself because I've given up sex. That's one thing I've done wrong. Other than that, just been living really clean. Not been bitching about people, not really been getting jealous. I've never really a jealous person. Of course, like everyone, I might get a feeling of a rush of jealousy or thought, but I don't identify with it. Just been really working hard, been doing good work with the guys, and just being considerate. Just looking at my own life and improving myself, and just teaching is getting so much better. The connections with the guys are amazing. And as I said to you guys, I'm very spiritual. When I did a prayer to God, he said to me, you need to help men to build fellowship. And in building fellowship, they'll get all the things they want, all of the surface things they want in life, like getting laid and feeling confident around women, feeling attractive. So if you're not socially comfortable with yourself, that means you've got it with everyone, because you've not connected with your authentic self. It's impossible. You can't bullshit me. You can't say to me, I just have approach anxiety with women, but I'm comfortable everywhere else. Don't bullshit me, because you can't bullshit a bullshit. That's what I said to Nick. We had a laugh. And I see the difference with the guys getting numbers, going on dates, and just the way they communicate, and just the honesty and that level of vulnerability, which is the most strongest thing you can do as a man. So it's that is the sticking point, the social awkwardness, the feeling of not being comfortable in oneself. And the exciting thing is you can change it. But you cannot change it without going through this mini death, this suffering. You can't just do a few techniques. And then I said to all the guys I work with, you start to get excited about fear. Just what Jeff was teaching me, you know, Jeff's been outlining it, and it's it made me analyze my journey, how I went from being very socially awkward to socially comfortable. And that doesn't mean that when you're socially comfortable you never get socially awkward, because of course you do. And it's human. If you're tired, you might catch me on a tired day in London. I've been teaching all day, seminars, mentoring, and you'll catch me, I'm tired, I can't string a sentence together, but I know that my authentic self is, I'm comfortable in a, you know, consistently, and it just shows. All the little things, like I said, and I see it with clients, doing things like a video blog. I wouldn't have been comfortable doing this 3-4 years ago. It was a process. It was a process of suffering, pushing myself, feeling a little bit less uncomfortable the next time in the video. When I first started shooting with Imran, to be honest, I found it really easy picking up women on the street. I always found it difficult doing the advice videos because I always felt exposed. I thought, oh my God, everyone can see me. I can see my eye contact. They can see me speaking on the camera. They can see my articulation. But now I love it. I'm free. I'm socially free. I'm free of all psychological embarrassment, psychological guilt. Just the feeling that I need to be perfect. I've gone above that, and that not in an arrogant way. I mean, I probably have all these fears, but I'm just too happy to even think about them. The self-love has been adjusted, and like I said, that's the work I do with the guys. It's about self-love, building relationships. Self-love equals attractive women. Self-love equals doing the job you love. Self-love means being the person you want to be, not being a people pleaser. And sometimes saying no to people. Lots of guys I work with, again, a reflection of how I used to be, are frightened of saying no to people. Just saying to a friend, I don't want to take drugs, I'm not joining you on this, doesn't mean I don't want to be friends with you, or I'm not being in this relationship no more. Or saying no to fear, saying to your fear, you're not going to keep me small no more. You're not going to tell me that I'm sorry to use this language, I'm getting passionate. You're not going to tell me that I'm a piece of shit. You're not going to tell me that I don't have the right image. You're not going to tell me that I'm not from the right social class. You're not going to tell me that my religion or my background is a hindrance to me. It's fucking not true. I'm able to do anything I want. I've got as much right as anyone to make changes in my life, and no one can stop me but myself. And that is the enemy, the self. That is the biggest enemy. The biggest sticking point is fear. And like I said at the video, getting comfortable with oneself, getting to know oneself, loving yourself is the secret to making money, starting a business, building relationships with family, dissolving relationships that are not fulfilling you no more, meeting the right women, developing abundance, feeling attractive, being an alpha male, being masculine, being a leader, being kind to people, not being jealous. All these things we speak about are always back to the relationship oneself. And nothing I'm telling you now you don't know. I'm probably going to shock you into saying, fucking hell, I can't believe he knows me better than myself. Because the more I know myself, the more I know you. And the more you know yourself, the more you know me. And these are all things that we share as a family. I know this when I was fucking 15 years of age. I couldn't articulate in language, but I felt it. And that sort of sense of knowing is a lot more understood than just talking about it or reading a book. So this is the major sticking point. And how do you overcome it? You don't overcome it reading books. You don't overcome it by watching YouTube videos, but reading books and watching YouTube videos, especially my videos, which are full of truth and passion and love and help and guidance, will encourage you to go and do it. So if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to build a relationship with me and transfer that inner knowing onto women, your social life, doing a job you love, get in touch. And let's talk about over Skype whether you're right for my 6 weeks program. I'd love to transform you, and the work I'm doing is life-changing. I say that with no hesitation. It's amazing the transformations I'm seeing and how much growth I get from teaching. It's incredible. I don't think the guys realise what they're doing for me just by allowing me to teach them and share my knowledge and building this friendship and relationship. It's just fucking, sorry to swear, I'm passionate. It's just incredible, you know, incredible. Nick's helped me grow massively. Yusuf, Silvu, Sanji, Maurice, there's so many guys. I don't want to leave any names out. Some of you know who you are. I've just so many names I work with. Hassan, working with Hassan on YouTube was great. Just seeing Hassan the other day when he came to one of my seminars in London, so inspiring how much he's helped me back. So David as well. That transformation was life-changing. David, that was another level. That took my teaching to another level. And yeah, as I said, Maurice, Sanji, I don't have words to thank these guys. It's beyond words. All I can say is thanks a lot, man. Because you can't teach people without getting help back. Of course, a huge thanks to Jeff. Jeff has just helped me so much. A thanks to Floyd, who is my first teacher. A thanks to myself. You know, of course, the main teacher is ourselves, and all the other people online. But yeah, I went through it, man. I went through what you guys are going through right now. I went through this suffering. It was uncomfortable. It was embarrassing. It brought up a lot of shame in me. It brought up a lot of guilt. But I had to allow my spirit, my soul, to feel these feelings, to cleanse me from this life of fear and to move into this life of love. But living this life doesn't mean, I said to Nick, it doesn't mean a life free of fear, but it means a life, what's the word? It means living a life that is honest and being yourself. And that's for me, it's gonna sound a little bit Braveheart, but that's worth dying for me, because I want to live being myself. Because when you're not being yourself, as far as I'm concerned, I'll speak from my experience, you're the walking dead. I was a dead man walking around for years. That sounds very harsh, that was the truth. Panic attacks, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome from so much psychological fear, it spread it into my bowels, into the toilet, using loads of toilet roll. I know it's graphic, it's the truth. If you don't like it, go on another video about the 3 tips how to have a conversation with a woman. So, fear of people, fear of leaving the house, sweating, panicking, always worrying, are people going to notice that I'm nervous? Are they going to see me break? Are they going to see that I'm weak? Feeling not like a man, and then feeling aggressive, feeling I've got to be violent. All of that is past me, thank God, praise the Lord. It's just, but I was hungry for it. I was hungry for this healing. I was looking for it in every fucking book, through every guru, through Alan Watts, through Les Brown, through all of my inspirations. I was looking for everyone, friends, myself, but it was back in me. It was back at the place where it started. The fear was in me, it had to be removed by myself. I had to change everything. And I've realized that now. You can't say, I'm going to kind of get into this personal development stuff, but I don't want to get into it too much. You're not going to change. Or I'm going to do day game for a week, you're not going to change. Or I'm going to do 1 hour with Johnny Berba or 1 hour of a life coach, and then I'm going to save my money and not do no more. Nothing's going to change, forget about it. You've got to be 100% in, or don't forget, trust me, take my advice. If you commit 30%, you do yourself more damage, because you're teasing at waking up, as Alan Watts says. You're not going to get enlightened. And I'm using all these words because they feel right for me. If you just come to video, it'd be like, wow, fucking hell, it's a lot. Basically, if you want to get confident with women, you've got to commit 100%. I've never seen anyone in the community, in the dating world, and myself, my students, who have committed 10% and got the results. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And if it happens, it's 1% of the population. It's men that were born natural, come from a fantastic family, never had a problem. And I don't think there is anyone on this earth that doesn't have like a problem. Because of course problems are a sign of life. So I'm going to leave you with a message in this video. If we want to get comfortable in ourselves, we must first get uncomfortable. We cannot experience comfortableness or stillness without awkwardness, trauma, anxiety. Anxiety is a sign you're not comfortable. It's fantastic. Negativity is a sign it's negative. You can change it. So wherever you're at, you can change. If you ain't got no money and you're poor, why can't you make money? Don't make excuses and blame your work. Ask yourself the question. If you're a virgin, why can't you lose your virginity? If you're angry, why can't you become loving? Whatever you are, you can be the opposite, but you have to take action. So if you want my help, get in touch, www.johnnyberba.com, or continue watching my videos, go out and apply it. I love you guys, appreciate the support, and get comfortable through coming out of your comfort zone. Enjoy the process, and thanks to all the guys that I've mentored. If I've left names out, it's because there's been so many, but I love you all, you guys. Thanks for the help. Bye.